Ruthie O'Brien. So this is lovely Ruthie. Ruthie is 31 years old. She is a nursery worker from Manchester. Ruthie was born with a rare genetic condition called Treacher-Collins syndrome, and she was born deaf and hears with the help of a cochlear implant. From a young age, Ruthie loved to sing and says that music helped her through some of the most difficult times in her childhood. She was nominated by her brother Will, who's in the audience tonight, along with her mum too. Hi guys, nice to see you. Welcome. It's going to be an amazing night. So, Ruthie has only ever been to London once before, so she's never seen the sights, and she has never been on public transport in London, and she has certainly never been on the tube. Ruthie is in London this weekend with her best friend Katie and thinks she is on a sightseeing tour. Of course, it's all completely fake, and we should actually be able to see them live in Covent Garden right at this moment. So there she is, that's Ruthie on the left with her friend. So for the next part of the tour, they are going to need to catch a train. So what we have done is we have built a fake tube station behind this curtain. So this is the route to the turnstiles. So she's going to come down here. She's going to be with her tour party. She is going to be let in here. Hopefully that'll work. She's going to pop over the other side. Then these machines are going to break, and she is going to be stuck here. And guess what? You've seen the show before. All of you are behind here. There's going to be a really fun advert for a new show in town with a brand new star. It's going to end on her name. The wall is going to drop, and you're all going to go completely crazy. So, I don't actually know how to get back. What's your name in the white? What's your name?
Barry.
But you had to ask somebody else what your name was. Sold. Barry, come and join me. Okay, well, tonight, you're going to be going on a date with this lady. This is Tasha. First impressions.
She looks like one of my models.
What do you mean, one of your models?
I'm in the fashion trade.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What, you're a photographer?
No, I'm a manufacturer.
You manufacture women? This is so creepy. You manufacture models of women?
No, I manufacture ladies' outerwear.
Outerwear?
Yeah.
Is that clothes?
That's dresses.
Oh, dresses?
Yes.
But no one's ever called it outerwear, ever. Hurry up, darling, we're late for our dinner date. Pop on your outerwear. OK, let's send in Tasha and Barry.
Should be here soon. Oh, here we go. Hello, hello.
Barry, if you can hear me, can you just
You
wave?
here for the tour? Yes.
There you go.
Nice to meet you. What's your name, sorry?
Barry.
Barry.
Hi,
Al.
I'm Tasha. So nice to meet you.
Great. Amazing.
All right.
Thanks so much. Well, you guys can grab a seat for now. Just waiting for the next train. Got all the tickets ready, so...
Introduce, just say, what are your names?
What are your names? Sorry,
I'm Barry.
Hi.
This is Tasha.
I am.
I know.
Barry,
say, this is my date.
Would you believe it? This is my date.
I know. Age's just a number, right?
Barry, say, what do you think of my outerwear?
And what do you think of my outerwear? My outerwear.
Yeah, he's come like very casual
Look,
today.
I'm very casual. I always go
Stand
out
up and do a twirl.
Are you comfy though?
Say, check it out, baby.
Check it out, baby.
Barry, say, you know what, Tasha? You know what you deserve?
You know what, Tasha? You know what you deserve?
Flowers.
Flowers.
I'm going to go buy them for you.
I'm going to go and buy them for you. Especially roses.
Oh, go
I
on.
love roses,
Go on, Barry.
they're
You
my
head
favourite.
down.
OK. Got, 2 minutes, so...
OK.
Choose wisely.
Yes, I do. Yes. Yeah. Oh, can I see yours? Yeah.
She was on us.
Put it in your mouth, Barry. Put it in your mouth.
Thank you. I might take this home tonight.
Do a choo-choo, chugga, 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 chugga.
Chugga, 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 chugga. Boop, boop. All aboard the love train. Who's first? Ruthie first, please. Hello. Yeah. There we are. Who's next? Katie next.
You've got the wrong one there, mate, I'm afraid.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we can sort that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, come
All
with
right,
me back
sorry.
to ticket office.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds.
Give me 1 sec, sorry. You guys come back with me.
Tonight in London, maybe you want to enjoy a show with a new star. Live tonight, making her West End debut at the Theatre Royal. It's Ruthie O'Brien.